Hello, how are you doing today? We are going to discuss about reading comprehension and a few important techniques of reading comprehension in this presentation. We are going to discuss about some speed reading techniques, how to improve speed, and how to answer questions. There are 65 minutes in which you are supposed to answer 52 questions, and the passages come from all the various domains, from science to chemistry to um, political science to day-to-day events, natural cycles like or natural occurrences such as earthquakes, etc. So the topics are varied, and you're supposed to answer 52 questions in 65 minutes. Now here we are going to discuss a few techniques. The most important one is to get interested in the passage. It is very important that you have a strong reason to read it. I mean, you like reading it. And I know that sometimes the passages are very uh, out of taste. I mean, you do not like them. They are not of your taste. Now, in that case, you can invent your own reasons for the time being. Like, for example, the way I persuade myself to read is that I would be able to see a new way of presenting information. Even if I don't understand the passage, I would end up learning a new way of presenting things. Maybe it starts with an example and then builds upon it. Maybe it starts with some point and then give examples. So I would be able to decipher I would be able to learn one new way of presenting data. And if it is new, if I don't understand it, so much better, because that's something which was out of my scope. And today I have seen a new way of presenting things. So, irrespective of the domain, I get interested in it because I want to see how this writer shows his creativity. It's like a piece of art, how he has drawn his ideas with the help of words. Words are like vehicles. So so you can always invent your own reason to develop to read the passage, and when you are interested, you understand it better. But when there are questions in your mind, why am I doing it? Why has he made a passage on tadpoles? How am I concerned with why honeybees develop some kind of disease? So it becomes difficult for you to understand the passage when you have questions about the content. So it's better to get interested at the beginning itself. This is inevitable. You cannot have a choice here. So why not accept it? And why not enjoy it? The second thing is, don't try to understand everything at the beginning. Try to get the big picture. Like, what is it? They're talking about some problem or some disease, or they're talking about some natural phenomena, or they're trying to understand something which is there, but there is no clear idea about it. Let's say they try to understand why birds fly in a V formation. Now you may say, so even if you understand this much, okay, they are talking about some problem, you would have a framework and a format in your mind. If there is a problem which is discussed there will definitely be some solutions or some experimental setup, like why do birds fly in a V formation? So, well, there would definitely be some scientist who would put something, so insert some kind of camera on the birds, in the birds which are flying there. He will do some analysis, and at the end he'll come with some results. So I can make out, so whether it is birds or anything, the structure is going to be the same if it is a science-based passage. Similarly, if it is from social sciences, they will talk about some social issue, inequality, lack of opportunities given to women, some historical presentation by or speech by somebody like Martin Luther King, you know, exhorting people to participate in the fight for independence and those things. So structure is going to remain the same. So if you become a big picture reader, it becomes that much easier for you, because you get the basic idea. You can go straight to the questions after, let's say, 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, and then while doing questions you can come back. While reading the passage in the first go, keep creating some milestones. Write it down. Don't just read with your eyes, read with your hands also. What I mean to say is, keep some milestones for you, so that when you come back, this is what you read, and it saves your time. Otherwise you end up reading the whole passage once again. Keep writing 1 or 2 words After every paragraph, stop, ask yourself, what have I gathered? Whatever is there in your mind, just dump it there on the piece of paper. Write two, three things, whichever you want. Don't waste too much time. Just four, five words would be enough. So that you are centered and you are focused on the passage. Many a times students try to focus, but they do not get focused. They try to focus. One good way of remaining focused is not, don't try to focus, you know, be focused, write it down so that you are really focused and you are relaxed. No, don't have anything in your mind. Your mind is not to, it's not a storehouse of information, it's a tool to analyze. So whatever you analyze, write it down and move on to the next paragraph. Read with anticipation, that's another thing. Instead of reading like a dumb machine or somebody who is totally dependent on the passage, read with certain anticipation. If there is a problem, then there would be a solution, then there would be some future suggestions for future. Let's take the same example, birds flying in a V formation. So they would find that, okay, it might be able to save some energy. Then they give some suggestions. Okay, that's why planes should also fly like this. Or we have not yet understood the whole thing. We will need further investigation to find the real cause and how can it be used. Read with anticipation the way you watch a movie. So every incident in a movie is also connected. Similarly, the things are connected in a passage. Don't try to understand every single word. Try to understand the basic message and how the whole passage is organized. So that's being a big picture reader. Understand the organization, in other words. Look for keywords. So whenever you find a word like but or however, there is a U-turn. A passage is like traffic, passing through a road, and there are signals there: green light, red light, amber light. According to the signals, you are supposed to stop or move fast. Similarly, when you get certain words like but or however, it's like a U-turn. Slow down at that point, because but means whatever the traffic was flowing earlier, it's now going to take a U-turn, and you are supposed to slow down so that you understand what was going on, because you are now going to contradict it. So reading is an art. When to go fast, when to go slow is something in your control, and you should use it smartly. Plus, you should know certain ways of presenting information. Most of the time, you will find that the paragraphs are arranged in a PEE format. The first line is the point. Then there is example and elaboration or some explanation. So if you understand the first line, it's like a magnet. That is the point, and they are trying, all the other examples and explanations are going to stick to that point. So if you understand the point, you will be able to understand the examples and explanations also. But if you don't understand the point, examples and explanations look like themselves as points. So you have to ask yourself, what is the point in each paragraph? And then rest of the things will automatically unfold themselves. Combing is again one technique where you can read one paragraph at a time and answer questions related to that. If it saves your time, you can try that. While answering questions, go for the easiest questions first and then go for the difficult ones. When you are reading question, paraphrase the question, go back to the passage and then read the options. What people usually do is they read the questions as well as the options. So their judgment gets colored by the opinions of the options. We know that out of the four options, only one is correct. So why should we bother about reading all three? A more logical idea would be to read the question, the stem of the question itself, not the options. Read the question, identify the keywords, go back to the passage, and once you know what are you searching for, match it with the given statements and select that. So this will save a lot of time rather than reading the options and trying to figure out which one is the best one. You can also make vertical comparison of the passage. What I mean by vertical comparison is that you can imagine kind of table drawn there. So you can compare the words and you can make out which option is talking about what. So that makes it easy to identify the keywords in the passage. I'm going to copy this in the comments, so all these notes are there. You can always refer to them and read them whenever you want to. So these are a few techniques which I wanted to discuss in this presentation. Yeah, while answering questions, you can always answer easier questions first and then go for the difficult ones, as I just suggested some time back. I think that's the basic thing which I wanted to convey. All the very best to you. In case you have any questions, you can always reach out to me and I would be happy to answer those questions. Thank you so much.